Hello everybody, it's me Paul, wishing you all Merry Christmas. Yes, this is Christmas time in my studio Warsaw, Poland, and on my humble YouTube channel. Guys, 2024 is almost over and I thought it's a good idea probably to sum the year up in the meaning of new software released this year. I reviewed a lot of it and I have my favorite ones that I seriously started using this year. So I made a list of top 10 of my favorite audio plugins, audio software released in 2024, and I'm gonna throw it all into your direction so you may reconsider enriching, expanding your tools library by any of these that I'm gonna present to you. Of course, if you think this channel is a cool place, if you like my studio and my videos, please consider subscribing somewhere here down in the corner, getting notified, liking this video and commenting on it down below so that I know what you think about my list, or even better, what are your favorite plugins and audio tools released in 2024. Let's go. And if by any chance you like any of the plugins or audio tools I presented to you and would like both to support me, you're gonna find some affiliate links down below. Thanks. All right, I've got my list with here. And I'm gonna present to you some mixing mastering tools, some audio tools in broader sense. These are not plugins, but let's say audio platforms, and my favorite synths also this year. I'm a synth guy, you know it. And you're gonna find it all in the form of separate videos on my channel. So I'm gonna link to every video here when I'm talking about a certain stuff. And first, let's go to the mixing and mastering department. Yes, pure unmask is not a new idea. The idea of spectral unmasking, so taking a side chain signal to cut some frequencies on one track or group based on the signal from a different track or group, has been introduced broadly in a tool called Track Spacer by Waves Factory. And actually Pure Unmask by Sonible does exactly the same job. But it does it in such a nice, neat, efficient, clean way that it seriously is able to replace Track Spacer for good. And actually it did in my workflow. When I need the simplest, quickest way to do spectral unmasking, I just go for this thing. When I need to make it a bit more advanced, I go for Soothe 2 by Sonible. Also, new Pro Q4 has got spectral unmasking on board. It works a bit different. I don't know if I'm gonna ever start really using it, but pure unmask is the thing if you want to go both precise and fast. That's it. PSP Flare. It's a psychoacoustic compressor, revered for its smoothness and transparency. And you know what? It's true, I have tested it out, especially on vocal content and dialogue content. It sounds great. It did not replace my Pro C2 for good in any film style compression where I need to be totally precise and transparent on dialogues, but I use it more and more often. I reviewed it under the name of Flow. They changed the name of this compressor to Flare due to some trademark conflict. Anyway, PSP Flare is the thing if you want to go precise and very, very smooth and transparent. Highly recommend it. Yes, there is a freebie on our list and it comes from Soundly. And this one is a marvelous, it's an amazing tool. It's a very quick filter and convolution reverb that lets you feel any acoustic space desired. It can emulate the speaker, it can emulate some walls, it can emulate living rooms and other spaces, and it does it in a very probable, very convincing, natural way. Of course, I own, for example, Altiverb, which is a beast for convolution, etc. But in many, many cases, while doing, for example, film mixing, This thing is absolutely enough, actually. And it's free. Grab it right now. And Cybredrive from United Plugins was a real surprise to me. I didn't actually expect anything great from this plugin. I just had some free time. So let's review something from United Plugins, because I never reviewed anything from them. United Plugins are a bit like Plugin Alliance, but not under the name of Dirk Ehrlich. Greetings, Dirk, but under the supervision of Melda Plugins and Wojtek, their founder. And this thing is a 4-stage, like 3-stage distortion plus additional feedback circuit. And it sounds really totally amazing. It's very versatile. It's multi-stage, it's highly automatable. It can sound like whatever, like from very slight soft saturation to absolutely smashed, destroyed stuff. And yes, it really did come into my arsenal. I tend to choose it more often than, for example, Saturn II right now, which says a lot about this plugin, at least in my arsenal. And the last one from Mixing Mastering department has been reviewed not so long time ago. It's called Fuel, and it comes from the company called Musik Hack. I reviewed their master plan 1.5 some time ago, and I was really surprised how good this is. Fuel is an enhancer. It's a compressor, multiband compressor, saturator, thickener of your sound, and you know what? It works amazing. It works great. Actually, I do have my saturation and filtering in a very organic, analog, URAC modular form here, and that's always gonna sound best, but I have to tweak it manually each time. Whenever I have no time for any analog goodness, analog tweaking, I want to get fast, but I really want to sound very rich and very analog-like, I'm definitely gonna go for Fuel. And that's gonna enter my arsenal for good, and I already know it. Highly, highly recommended stuff. Yeah, the department of audio tools just consists one audio tool, audio platform. It's Spectralayers 11 by Steinberg. It's a spectral editor that works as a standalone and as an Era 2 extension. I tested it out and I was really, really impressed, mainly with how well it can separate stems from your music. And until the very end of the year, I still believe that what Spectralayers does, just in terms of stem separation, is actually really absolutely stunning. But not only that, it's a spectral editor, fully fledged spectral editor to repair your audio. It works different than RX 11, for example, and for some reasons it cannot fully replace RX 11 in my arsenal, in my workflows, generally Isotope RX. But Isotope people should be really worried, because this thing is getting closer and closer to achieving better and better results until the very day it just becomes different, but simply better than Isotope RX. So if you're into spectral editing, you have to check it out if you haven't done it so far. Synthesizers. I'm just a synthesizer guy. I have to tweak a couple of synthesizers each year, right? And the first one reviewed on this channel was Pigments 5. I really did like the upgrade, and generally I started my adventure with Pigments quite late, I would say. But this is one of my, let's say, 3 go-tos in the world of VST synthesizers. The first one is Avenger 2, definitely, no discussion about it. But the second, really honorable place, goes definitely to Pigments. I throw Pigments on my timeline really, really very, very often. It offers a lot, and everything it does is done in a very, very good way, simply. its modulation is based on some very original, different concept. I got used to it, I started really liking it, and I'm able to tweak a lot of great stuff using Pigments 5. Yeah. Yes, a legend returns. Waldorf themselves made Microwave 1 synthesizer as a plugin. In the world of synthesizers like Pigments or Avenger, or Ana2 and any other wavetable-based synthesizers, Microwave might seem like an outdated toy of some kind, like a dinosaur or a museum item, but you know what? It's actually not. It sounds great, and it's got something really, I call it digital vintage. And it does have this great digital vintage character. Yes, it's very simple. It's sometimes rough in terms of what you can do inside. Not too many modulation routing options. Not too many tweaks in some areas. But first, limitations are always good for creativity. That's the first thing. And the tone it gives you, it's really very specific, very sweet. And there's something really very, very nice, very characterful about it in the digital world. So I totally love it. I used it for a couple of times throughout the year on my productions, and I simply love it. Congratulations, Waldorf. I enjoyed this one really a lot. I used to own Erica Synths Acid Box 3, which is an original circuitry from Polyvox filter. And it's rough, it's wild, absolutely dirty, and I loved it. And when I learned that there's finally a Polyvox synthesizer replica clone from Sherry Audio, I had to be there, and I seriously had a ton of fun with it. Sounds rough, sounds absolutely wild, and also the filter section is very, very close to what I heard in my Acid Box 3. And it's probably not possible to use it on every production because it doesn't sound modern the way that it has to be dirty. You can't make it sound neutral. If you want to go for some more controllable tones, like easygoing stuff, go for something else. But if you're looking for a really wild lead or wild bass, this is the thing to go, and I welcomed this really heartwarmingly in my arsenal. Yes, thingz, also reviewed not so long time ago on my channel, and I was absolutely impressed with this premier synthesizer, the first one in the portfolio of Acustica Audio people known for their convolution, EQs, compressors and stuff. They did an amazingly sounding synthesizer. I'm serious about it. This is as close to analog feel, at least I can't say if it's as close to the original as it gets, because I don't own the original, but the feel of this synthesizer is very, very organic, very, very authentic, and very, very lifelike. And it sounds simply amazing. You can tweak it any way you like the original. There are also some additional options and an effect section, and all this sounds great. And it's more than certain that it's gonna get into my arsenal for good and for many, many uses. Like Atomika is for some stuff. Microwave also is going to serve just in some of my productions. But this thing, I can imagine utilizing this in anything that I produce, like Pigments 5, though it's a completely different thing. But you know what? It's amazing. And guys, I believe this is the list of my 10 plugins and audio products I totally recommend from 2024. I hope you liked my list. And you know what? Let's sum the things up. Yeah, that's it. That's my list. I hope you like it. If you do, or if you don't, or if you have your own favorite tools coming from 2024, please remember to comment down below so that we can have one more fruitful discussion. And the prospects for 2025 are, of course, great. There are more and more tools being released. What is also cool that they are becoming cheaper and cheaper. Everything is on promo out there. Like seriously, you can buy so much more with so much less money. But on the other hand, and I will always stress it out, the market is oversaturated, it's overcrowded with plugins and with tools. There's a constant flood actually of new things coming, and I will always recommend this. You don't have to try everything. Or maybe try, okay, you should try whatever you like, but you don't have to buy and you don't have to use everything that's out there. You don't have to collect plugins. It's enough to choose your arsenal wisely and simply start using it, excelling in tweaking exactly what you chose in any department, whether these are mixing tools like compressors, EQs, etc., whether these are mastering tools like limiters or mastering EQs and stuff, or synthesizers or any virtual instruments. You don't need to own too many actually. It's good to simply excel at these that are your choice, guys, and that's my recommendation for 2025. Try as much as you can and as much as you wish, but when you choose really, just choose wisely. Choose a selection of tools. And I'm gonna try to help you out with that in 2025, reviewing more and more stuff in a very honest, uncompromised way. You know me, that's not gonna change. That's it for today, guys. Wishing you again Merry Christmas, the rest of it, because I'm gonna release this video tomorrow. That's gonna be the last day of Christmas. And also a Happy New Year, full of new hopes, new prospects, and simply bringing you only good stuff, at least in audio. Take care. See you soon.